Video number 8, let's talk about base running. So we have a couple of different sections here. Now we've got the base running on hits and we've got the tag up on fly balls. We also do have the outfield assist that does come into play there with a lot of the base running. But first of all, the base running up the top, we have a single with the runner on first, a single with the runner on first with 2 outs, a single with the runner on second, a single with the runner on second with 2 outs, a double with the runner on first, and a double with the runner on first with 2 outs. Obviously, it's easier to score with 2 outs because you're going generally. The main, results on that is yes and no. No, you don't go the extra base. Everything here is all about, do you get the extra base or not? So you see over here, we have no, he doesn't go from first to third. So because he doesn't go from first to third, it's just first to second base. So you've got runners on first and second now. With 2 outs though, a C runner would go from first to third. So any runner that's C and above would go from first to third. Any runner C minus and below, you go to second base only. If you're on second and there's a single, less than 2 outs, an A plus. So only the highest base running rating would go from first to second on that ball. With 2 outs though, everybody scores. A double, runner on first. No, they don't score. But the fielder it goes to, we need to check the outfield error to make sure he hasn't errored that. If the outfielder does error it, runner comes in. 2 outs, a D minus would score from first base. Let's check to see if we've got some other cards here. That's just another example. We've got some yeses, no, a couple of different base running ratings. Any of those are base running ratings. If it is for something else, it'll tell you what it is looking for. Here's one. Runner on second, single with 2 outs. The ball's coming home. The outfield arm. So we need to test the outfield arm. If the outfield arm passes the check, then they throw the runner out at home. So say it was a single into center field, he would throw the runner out, so it'd be a assist 8, put out 2. Here we have some no's again, but for both of these, there's an outfield error check. So if the outfielder does error it, you get the extra base. Over here on the double, runner on first with 2 outs, it's asking if the base runner wants to risk. Now that's got a question mark against it. The manager, who's taking control of that team, will then choose whether he will take the risk. Now that risk will go against the runner's base running rating. In this case here, it's base runner risk again, but the manager doesn't get a choice. The runner's going, he's taking the risk, and he may get thrown out. So there are some that you have to go, and there are some where you can choose to go and risk it. Base running on hits is as simple as that. I want to bring some other cards over, and we're going to look at tagging up on fly balls. So I generally tag up, if there's a fly ball to the outfield and there's a runner on third, you want to check the tag up on the fly balls definitely. You want to see if there's a sacrifice fly. If there's a runner on second base, I generally will check if it goes to center field or right field, not if it goes to left field. And if a runner's on first base, I generally wouldn't try to tag up. So it's your choice whether you wanted to tag up. But keep in mind that if someone tags up in front of you, then you need to check down the line if there's runners on the previous bases. We'll go through that a little bit more in a minute. With this card here, we can see that there's a runner on third base. Now, is there going to be a sac fly? Is he going to tag up in third and score to an outfield fly ball? In this case, if the batter's power is 50 plus, now that's an adjusted power, so you need to adjust that by the pitcher's power adjustment as well. If he was to tag up and score, then the runner at second base, if the runner at second base had a jump of 60 plus, they would also tag up and go down to third. The runner on first would stay put where they are. In this case here, the runner on third would tag up unless the outfield range, a fielding range check, would stop the tag. So say you hit it to Ken Griffey Jr. and that year he had a B plus in the outfield and he got the card of a C. Well, then he has made the range play check and he's going to hold the runner at third. If he flipped over a card and it was an A minus and he's a B plus, well, his range wasn't good enough at that time to stop the runner. You can see at second there that the runner on second is not going to third, unless, of course, he's the trailing base runner. So if the outfielder doesn't stop the runner scoring from third, then the trailing base runner at second base would go from second to third. But if there's a runner also on first to go to second, he has to risk going to second base. So there might actually be a runner scoring from third, a guy going from second to third on that, but the guy going from first to second has risked it and may get thrown out. So there's a little bit of variety in there. This one here, tagged up at third, yeah. Does he go from second to third? Has he got a jump of 50 plus? This one here, does he tag at third? It's your choice. You want to risk it or not. Risking that would be probably go against the arm on that. Does he tag at second? No. If he is risking from third and there's no runner on second base covering that second base, and there's a base runner, a C, he goes from first to second, most likely on the throw home. This case, if it goes to centre field or to right field, he'll tag. And if that is the case, then the guy on second will go across to third. Again, outfield arm. Then if the ball goes out to F9, he goes from second to third. Just briefly, if we're looking at the arm rating of the outfielder, sometimes there'll be some different kind of results. Here's one, for instance. There's only 3 outfield ratings, A, B, and C. So in this case, the outfielder would throw out the runner on the throw home or to one of the bases. But in this case, we're checking the outfielder for an error, just in case he doesn't throw it away. See if I can find some other ones quickly. So I found a couple of cards here. So this one below, an A or B would throw out the runner, a C would not. If an A or B does, the yes, question mark, yes, they do throw them out. There's a possible throwing error. Again, that's just for an A, but we do need to check for a throwing error. B and C don't throw the runner out. A and B would throw the runner out, but if there's a medium wind, then a throwing error check. If you're playing wind rules. And this is a strong wind check. If A and B throws out, if there's a strong wind, you want to check for a throwing error. They haven't gone right through the deck there. I think there might be a couple of different results there where it'll say no, they don't throw it out, but there's a possible throwing error on the throw back, which would then mean the runner would be safe with the throwing error. You might want to, if there's trailing base runners, you might want to do the old 1 to 50, no extra bases on that. For the trailing base runners, 51 to 100. You get an extra base. So that's a simple base running check. If you do require, for some reason, if you're risking and there's a base running check to go an extra base and you need to use the base running rating to get that rating, go down and use the fielding check. The fielding check or the fielding rating and the base running rating are both A+ through to F, or F at the bottom through to A+ at the top. So they're both the same system of measurement. So use that one. So that's pretty much the basics of base running. There should be a little bit of variety in that one, and hopefully you'll get some guys thrown out on the bases and some excitement on the bases with some of the stronger arms or the faster runners out there.